What is up, everybody? Killing Spree 37 here with the most complete tutorial of all time for Yuri Boyka. We're going to go ahead and start it off with hair 22, which is the signature haircut. We're going to go with brows number 9. It gives it a nice little arc. Facial hair is 100% up to you guys, but I thought this one would be more feeling because he has a thicker mustache and he has some facial hair along the cheeks, which is going to be facial hair number 17. Then make sure you pay attention to the next couple steps, guys. It's going to be the body shape. He's really buff and like lean and muscular. So we're going to go ahead and use body number 8 and skin tone number 1 or skin tone number 2, however you guys want to do it. He has brown eyes, so that doesn't matter. All the hair is going to be black too. Facial is going to be 37. Now, the facial numbers, guys, for the sculpting, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I did it from beginning to end instead of giving you guys just a number. So pay attention. If I'm going a little bit too fast, don't be afraid to either pause it or slow it down via the YouTube settings. And I'll see you guys when this portion is over. And I'm back. So now this is going to be the main focus, which is the tattoos. Now, some of them are going to be extremely easy. Some of them are going to be a little bit harder. But once you do one, I promise you, you will be able to do the second one with ease. You know, it's all about getting the stuff right. So we're going to make his mustache a little bit thicker. So use a crescent shape, which is shapes 118. Make sure you kind of line it up with the mustache. Make sure it is straight because you'll see it poking out from one of the sides. And try not to cover the top lip with the tattoo. And once you get to, you know, you're able to have it in a position where you feel like it's good, go ahead and duplicate it and kind of get the bottom of the chin right there. Make sure it lines up perfect. And make sure that you rotate the character just a little bit to make sure that it lines up with the jawline. So it's not 100% sticking out and look a little bit stupid. It looks kind of stupid if you mess it up, but it's always okay to mess up. You know, it's like what Bob Ross said, happy little accidents, mistakes. No wonder you guys are going to kill me because I said that. Whoops. So I go ahead and I duplicated it. And I moved it up just a little bit to kind of create a little bit of a thicker chin, facial hair. Hit it with a square. There you go. Stretch it down very thin. It's going to be the little middle piece below the lip. And there you go. It's a little bit thicker. It's kind of his facial hair in general. And it looks nice. Now, scroll down here and find the correct shapes. And we're going to try to do a little bit of manipulation, which is we have eyebrows. We want to make them a little bit thicker, you know. So we're going to get a faded shape, which is shape 126. Make sure you thin them out. Line it up with the eyebrow. Just go above, line it up a little bit. Make sure that they're kind of even and drop it down. And once you do that, guys, go ahead and duplicate it. Now, duplicating it, what it does is it makes it stack on top of each other. And because it's a fading type of tattoo, the color is going to become much more darker. It's not going to be so harsh like a full actual shape. It's just going to be a little bit darker than what it normally was. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Really simple. We're almost there. The face is there, guys. If you want to stop at the face, I don't blame you. But for those hardcore people that want to make Yuri Boyka, here we go. The signature scar on the right side of his face. I use miscellaneous 18, guys. You want to make sure that you have it angled perfectly, and then you start messing with it as far as stretching, and you go ahead and you adjust it with the scale. Now, you can manipulate it a little bit if you hold L1 and you press down on the D-pad. It'll kind of shrink it down to a little bit smaller sizes. That's how I'm able to get certain little details for the other calves that I did. Move it around just a little bit. Make sure it's good. Zoom in if you have to. But once you feel like you have it in the right spot, guys, go ahead and leave it like that. Perfect. Looks nice. Everything looks nice. Now, surprisingly for accessories, they don't have knee pads. They don't have the ankle socks that I used to put on the characters. So we have to, we have to manipulate, guys. We have to make some custom knee pads for Yuri Boyka. Where would he be without his knee pads? His signature knee pads. There you go. He is not a wounded horse. There you go. Line it up perfect. If you have a good enough screen or a computer, you'll see where the kneecap circle is, the kneecap itself. Just make sure the shape is somewhat in the middle, or do my little trick, which is turn the body a little bit to the right and kind of line it up as much as you can, or you can do it from the front as well. There you go. One of them looks a little bit bigger. Stretch it out a little bit, place it, and you're done with that part. Those are the easy tattoos. Now we got to focus on the hard ones, which are going to be a few of them. The chest tattoos, these stars were so hard to do, but this one is a little bit easy. The cross, put it on his neck. It doesn't have to be exact, but as long as it's there and it's represented on the character, a lot of people will recognize this character just based off the tattoos, and they like it. It's fun to fight against. Next, we're going to go with the left side of his body, the cross. I didn't find the banner to be a lot helpful in adding it into the tattoo, so I left it off. Now the circle, a lot of you guys were saying like Q's and stuff would make the star. I didn't think that. So what I ended up doing was getting a triangle. And this is what I was talking to you guys about, was pressing L1 and down on the D-pad and stretching it and moving it and manipulating it. You got to spam it. If you don't get it the first time, sometimes it sticks. So what you have to do is back out of the tattoo, pick the tattoo again, and then kind of just manipulate it. Now, as far as the stars, you want it to be able to make a diamond. So imagine you put the triangle and you leave enough space for you to make a diamond on the other side, okay? That's all it really is. I'll see how, you'll see right here, I lined it up a little bit too much off the top a little bit, and then I decided to go back with it on the other side. Just line it up right there, perfect. And remember, you can adjust these once you realize that they're not 100% even, and you'll get a better star than this. This is my second attempt at making the Yuri Boyka, and it was really hard to make these at first, but I didn't know how to make them, so I had to kind of practice. And you're going to go with the Charlemagne font number 9, which is the I. That's going to be the line that makes the diamond shape. So you put it on the corner piece of the triangle, and you go all around and make sure that they're, lined up. And like I said, you'll know that it's not straight based off these corner pieces right here. You'll know once the eye is not, it's not matched up right, or it's like at an angle that's weird, you're going to have to adjust the triangle and then put the line again. If it comes out pretty decent or close enough, go ahead and just accept it. And all I'm doing right here, guys, is I'm duplicating it. Really, really simple. Duplicate it. It has a size. It has a tattoo. It's something that's really, really easy. There you go. That's all you got to do. Duplicate and go to the next one. Remember, hit the top of the triangle and then go to the other side of the triangle, and it'll kind of fill out like a diamond shaped. You do this, the rest of the tattoos are going to be easy. This is the majority of the tutorial are the stars. A lot of people use the circle sun ones, the tribal ones. I'm showing you guys how to make this legit. And what I did here, guys, is I moved it up to the top so I wouldn't confuse the shapes with the other tattoo. Like I said, line it up. He has them on the far left side of the shoulders, but the issue with that is on the calves, they stretch out and they tend to look a little bit silly. So I kept them a little bit closer. There you go. Now, like I said earlier, I'm adjusting it as I'm putting the lines, the eyes. But go ahead and copy, paste. You'll make mistakes here and there, but once you do one side, it's going to be 100% easier. I promise you. There you go. See, they're not coming out exactly the same. Even though I copied it, which is stupid, even though I copied it, for some reason, when you copy it and you drag it over to another portion of the body, it starts to rotate. It's nothing that you can do. It's just something that EA has to work on. There you go. So I used about 6 triangles in total. 6 eyes in total. So for both sides, it's going to be about 24 tattoos. There you go. And then you just got to adjust them. Once you do the eyes and you do the diamonds, you just adjust it. As you go, you'll learn, like I did right here in the video, you'll see. I learned, I adjusted them, and they came out pretty decent, if not better than my original creation. And there you go. Copy and paste. That's all it is, guys. And if you're new to the channel, guys, don't forget to subscribe or give this video a big thumbs up if you were able to make Yuri Boyka. Or you can tag me on Twitter, guys, so I can look at all your submissions and see if you guys made it. I love when you guys do that. There you go. Just tag and paste. Be careful when you hit the duplicate button, because sometimes it'll double duplicate. And when you're running out of tattoos, you're starting to look back at stuff that you can get rid of. And more than likely, that's the reason why. There you go. Just adjust it just a tiny bit. Adjust it. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. People don't notice the little details, but for you guys and for creations that I like to make them precise. And, they have to look good. They have to look better than everybody else's, I'm sorry. Just has to. All right. Move it over just a tad bit. And for those that were wondering, like I said, you hold L1 or LA, or I don't know what the hell it is for Xbox. You hold the left bumper, or the left L1, and then you move it down with this, right, to stretch it. Or you hold this, and then you do this on the D-pad, okay? That'll scale it, and it'll make it much smaller, much thinner, and you'll be able to get a ton of cool details on calves that you wouldn't normally get. There you go. Look at that side-by-side comparison. They're damn near identical. I'm proud of it. A quick rotation. That was the hardest part. Now we are on to the easier tattoos, which is going to be the barbed wire. A lot of people use the little sunflower, the Japanese one. I don't really like that. So what I ended up doing, guys, was I went to portrait number 9, made it thin. You want to make it flip to where the head of the tattoo is in the middle. And then you kind of do like that. Now, obviously, that one was a little bit too long. The tattoo isn't long itself. So what I ended up doing was where I went back and I readjusted it. So you want to start off with the cross. That's how you know that it was a little bit too big. There you go. I shortened it. You want to start off with the cross. It looks like barbed wire just because of the vines that are intertwined in that tattoo. Start off with a nice little cross after you shorten this. It doesn't have to be too big. There you go. I would say right here past the arm of the bicep, if you go to the shoulder a little bit, you went too far. There you go. Copy, paste, flip it. Get it as best as you can. Boom, you got a cross. Now what you're going to do is go in the middle of each, between the crosses. There you go. Right there. Fairly good, simple. Don't adjust the thickness like I did. But at the same time, if you feel like it's not even, go ahead and just keep adjusting it, guys. Just make sure the distance between like the V and then this, make sure that the distance is a little bit even. Otherwise, it'll look bunched up and it won't come out right or accurate. And this is one of the easier tattoos that I've done, was this one. The other one, it took forever to figure out. But this one was one of the easier ones. The barbed wire. All right. Now, for the barbed wire itself, what I ended up doing was going to the letter X on one of these fonts. I believe it was the Clairvaux font 24. And I put that at the end. So it's supposed to be the little, I don't know exactly what it is on the barbed wire part. The shit that cuts you. That's what it's supposed to be. Just put it at the very end and lower it, make it a little bit transparent so it matches with the skin tone and it doesn't overpower the actual tattoo of the barbed wire. And if you don't want it to overpower it a little bit too much, I would even take it a step further and move the tattoo below all of the tattoos. The letter X, I would put that all underneath the other tattoos and it'll look the same and it'll look pretty good. There you go. All right, we're almost done, guys. Like I said, once you realize what you have to do to put on, the tutorial won't be this long. Okay, we're almost there. Perfect. Came out nice. Looks nice. We're almost there with the main tattoos. This other tattoo, which is supposed to be, I believe, of Mary and Joseph, or no, I'm not Joseph, Mary and Jesus-ish. What I ended up doing was getting the woman portrait, which is number 5, I believe. Yep, grabbed her, flipped her, like that. Put it a little bit high. You don't want to make it too big or too small. Then I grabbed the baby face. I flipped him to face the mother. Perfect. Now, you can't really add the details like she's hugging him, but you can do the halo, which is shape 8. Put it underneath the tattoo so it looks like it's behind it. And what you do to one thing, you're going to do to the other, which is the little boy. There you go. You can make it smaller. You can do the manipulation that I was teaching you guys earlier. Press L1 and scale. Put it underneath. And now we're going to make it radiant, which we're going to do is we're going to add the eyes from Charlemagne, font number 9. And that it's like a little sun rays, you know, give it some majestic feel to it. Something that he has on his tattoo. There you go. Just copy and paste from here. I did 4 each, but for the little kid, you could probably do 3. If you're running out of tattoos. You shouldn't be running out of tattoos. You should be right at 100 for this. There you go. Perfect. Line it up. Now for little kid, do the manipulation. Hold L1 and start spamming this and moving this even. Move it around, stretch it out, stretch it down, and then start scaling. Hit spam scale, and it'll start to thin down. And if it's stuck in where it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, it doesn't let you stretch it, like I said, back out of that tattoo, go back in, try it again. There you go. Now with the barbed wire, I went with the same one, which is portrait number 9. Thin it out just a little bit. Now, if you're very meticulous and you don't want the head to show on this, what I would tell you to do is rotate it just a little bit to where the head is underneath the armpit so nobody will see it. And then we're going to hit it with the barbed wire tips, which is Clairvaux font 24. Somebody will tell me how to say it. Make it transparent just a little bit. And like I said, you're going to want to duplicate this, go all the way around. You don't have to do it all the way around. Once you get to this armpit area, leave it. Save yourself some tattoos. You can start adding in little details. There you go. Do the best you can. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. What I'm doing here, guys, is I'm just doing the simplest thing, which is readjusting the size of it because I didn't like the size of it. Made it a little bit smaller, gave it a little bit of an angle. There you go. It looks like barbed wire from afar. You can't tell the difference. There you go. Behind the arm. I would stop right there, but I continued to go a little bit further, but I decided not to do it because I ran out of tattoos. So I went back and deleted those tattoos. So if you're watching this, don't add those extra X's. There you go. Real simple, guys. Real simple. We're almost there. Look at that. Yuri Boyka. Looking beautiful as ever. This one is a forearm tattoo. Now, I didn't add this to my original creation, but for the tattoos, people that were asking about it for the tutorial, I decided to add it anyways. I used that tattoo, followed by a bunch of half moon shapes to fill out the certain details to make it connect with each other. Like I said, stretch it down and then start using the scale button on the D-pad. You want to make sure like the skull is filled out a little bit. I stopped doing certain little things, to be honest with you, and I removed some of these shapes, and I ended up going with like a square, roundish shape. I'm not sure what it's called, but when it pops up, I'll tell you guys exactly what it is. There you go. All I'm doing right here is just flipping the shapes. Flipping them, making the skull look a little bit cooler than what it normally did. Real simple stuff. Now this tattoo is not hard, but it's definitely for the people that want the 100% accurate version of Yuri Boyka. There you go. Get the shapes a little bit. Make the skull. This is how I did it with the shapes. If for the people that wanted the shapes. For the people that don't want to add so many shapes, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did here in this next clip. Real simple, guys. Look at this. Beautiful. The most complete fighter of all time. Shout out to all the Russian fans. All right. Now, this is what I did. Went to shapes. The circle. Boom. This is for the main tattoo, guys. This is how people would know who this character is without you even typing in the name. I added multiple circles to make it thicker. You just adjust the size down. Then we went with the circle instead of a square, guys. And like I said, manipulation. Use L1, hit down on scale. It's something that a lot of people aren't going to tell you guys. The smallest detail. That's how you make the circle a lot smaller. I hit it with a triangle because it looks like it has a type of, it's like a circle with some points on it on the ends. There you go. Manipulate it with, just a little bit. Put it to where it's sticking out. Nothing too fancy. Just a little bit of the end pieces of the triangle should be sticking out. All right. Now this part is where you get the signature curves where they overlap. I used V's last time, but I decided for this tutorial to use shapes 118. And this will help you not only just have the accurate type of tattoo, but it'll also show you where to stop the thickness of the circle. Because it'll be too thick or it'll be too thicker than the circle. So you're going to want to make the circle thicker. There you go. Now, none of this should be touching the nipple, okay? It's accurate. Make sure it's a little bit above the nipple. It's close to the nipple. But Yuri don't play that shit. So it's close to the nipple, but it's not near the nipple. And what you do to one side, you're going to do the other. Give it a little bit of flair. Make sure that it's sticking out just a little bit and it's not too close to the circle. So it has a little hanging out piece. It looks like it's tattoo. I'm going to duplicate it, guys. And like I said, duplicate, adjust it down a size so it'll be thicker. Because if you start using letters like the letter Q, it doesn't stick out as good as it's supposed to do. All right, here you can see me deleting the forearm tattoos. It's just the extra half moon shapes. If you were paying attention earlier, I said not to really focus on that. It's just the outer side of the head. Once you start getting to the extra spots that I added underneath the jaw, then that's when you're going to do this shape right here. Got rid of that shape. I'm trying to figure out what shape to put in there. Make sure you delete some of the shapes. I was running out of shapes, guys. And here's the shape right here. Shapes 107. You line it up at the top of the head where you think it has a nice curved round for the skull, and then you bring it down all the way to the teeth, the jawline, and you make it as thick as the lines for the skull. Now I start to flip it and make sure that it connects with the circle, and deleting some that were just excess that had no points of being there after I made the adjustment. So here, I'm not sure exactly what the tattoo is. When I saw it on the action figure, it looked like it had a mohawk and some type of weird beard. So I hit it with a bunch of shapes. Just adjust it one more time to make sure that it looks nice. It looks like an actual skull. There you go. Just keep adjusting it. Rotate it if you have to. You might get a different shape than what you normally got. Then you duplicate it just to get that darker outline. You duplicate it, you leave it there, and it makes a darker outline. Okay, now I'm looking for some shapes to possibly put in this. And more than likely, I ended up going with, let's see here. For the top part, I'm going to use shapes 136. And then for the rest of the beards and stuff like that, for the excess hair, I'm going to be using triangles. A lot of people actually want to use J's. The things with J's is that when you use them, they're too thin and they curve to the right, and they're not 100% accurate, and they don't cover as much real estate on the forearm like a triangle would. Let's go over here. Boom. At the triangle, like I said, stretch it out, make it a little bit thin, and then start messing with the scale button to make it thinner, make it a little bit thinner, and a lot smaller. You don't want it to be too big, otherwise it looks stupid. There you go. Flip it, see? Right there, perfect. Right there, see? And sometimes when it doesn't have the glitch, it allows you to either move it up or wide, depending on how you scaled it. There you go. Adjust it, make sure it looks like a little beard. Duplicate it and continue to do it throughout the bottom of the skull. And we have about 3 minutes left, guys, of this tutorial. Like I said, it's real simple, real accurate. I hope you guys got this, got this far. Now, if you do need help, guys, I will be able to help you guys individually in the comment section. Just let me know, and I'll explain a little bit of the process. I know that one of the bigger things is going to actually be the manipulation part. That's something you got to learn through trial and error. But once you figure it out, guys, it's going to be a real easy thing for you. Duplicate it, move it to the right, duplicate it, move it to the right. If you have enough tattoos at this point, you can go ahead and make some of them smaller, some of them a little bit thicker. Right here, I ran out of tattoos, so I'm looking for stuff to delete. All right, so it wasn't the wrong shape. What I ended up doing was I added the double triangle that was stacked on top of each other. It's like right next to the flag and the banners and the crosses that are on the shapes. I added it on top to get that before. It has like a mohawk on top, but it kind of comes out crazy at the top. So I'm looking for excess tattoos. Like I told you guys earlier, I got rid of the X's. Now, one tattoo that I forgot was the back tattoo. I ended up using this one, the dragon, the Izumi number 4, because you can't customize the little serpent that he has on the back without sacrificing a bunch of these cool tattoos. So I decided to skip it and just stuck with the dragon tattoo. It gets the point across. Like I said, I'm looking right here for excess pieces that I may have had. Moving that just a little bit. Make sure that it's a little smaller. It was too big and it was kind of crooked. Okay. Now I deleted, like I said, I deleted to make room. I deleted the tattoos that were underneath the armpit. So I did nothing else besides that. And I'm going to copy the shape 10, which is the triangle, which is the beard hair. And I'm going to put them on top of the skull that has the double triangle tattoo shape on there. And that is going to be it for the tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got this far and are completely satisfied with your creation. Let me know in the comment section, who do you think I should make next? Anyways, I'm out!
The champion of the world, killing spree 37!